This is the question I was waiting for. I was surprised that I only got asked once, so it means you guys have been watching my monthly updates because I mentioned it in one of the monthly updates. Kelly E says, do you think you will have more children, and if so, what time in your life do you think you will have them? So I talked about this in my postpartum video. At this point, we are considering ourselves one and done, which means we have one baby and that is it. My husband's plan all along was to have one baby. I thought my plan all along was to have two babies, but I just have this sense of completeness. I feel like our family is complete. I don't feel like anybody's missing from the table. I just feel like we've got it really good. We've got a good thing going. So I don't have that desire to have another baby, but I do still have that lingering thought in the back of my mind, like, maybe I still want two at some point, but I definitely don't want to do the 2 under 3 or 2 under 4. Having two young babies is just totally not for me. So if we have a second one, which is going to be a really slim chance we have a second one, I'll explain in a minute, but if we do, they'll probably be 5 or so years apart. I really want Olivia to be more self-sufficient, to be old enough to understand what's going on, be old enough that she can help out a little bit, and I really want those first years with her, just her. I could totally see it working out having two like that, because Olivia will be in school when the baby's really teeny tiny and needing most of my time. And so I'll get that one-on-one time with the new baby too without juggling a toddler. And I never had the desire to have lots of young babies all at once. And especially after having her, like, I want her to have my full attention when she needs it. I want her to not ever feel like, she's missing out on attention or I'm having to divide my attention. I'm really like an all or nothing kind of person. I want to just give everything to whatever it is that I'm doing, and especially my child. I want to give her everything and I want her to have all my attention. I want her to have every opportunity in life, and especially if we only have one, we could probably pay for her college, or at least pay for most of her college. Definitely that's not out of the question if we just have one. If we have two, it's definitely going to be out of the question paying for 2 complete colleges. Of course, I hope she gets scholarships and stuff. There's, school, like private school. With 2, private school will not even be an option. With 1, we might be able to wing it. It's just there are a lot of things that are to our advantage to have just one. We can save money for her. She can have our full, complete attention. She can be in any activity she wants. We'll have the money and the time, resources to let her do whatever activities she wants. And I was an only child, so I don't think siblings are completely necessary. So there's always that feeling like, a lot of people have siblings, and I see that argument, but at the same time, I don't have siblings, so it's just not a strong argument to me because I survived without a sibling, and if she's an only child, she'll survive without siblings. You don't know any different, I guess. And the reason I say there's only a slim chance that we'll have a second one is because I just don't see the desire being there. I just don't see myself being as crazy for a baby as I was with her. Like before we had her, I was baby crazy. I had such a bad baby fever. I would have done anything to have her. And now I just feel like our lives complete. I just don't see the baby fever ever taking over like it was. And I might be completely wrong. It might end up taking over at some point. But I feel like the further and further we get out from the baby stage, the less likely that is to happen. Once we're out of diapers especially, I don't think we're going back. I don't think we're going to start over at the baby stage, unless I do get crazy baby fever. And my husband, of course, has to be on board too. He's totally happy with 1. I'm totally happy with 1. I just honestly don't envision ever being pregnant again. I don't envision ever having a newborn again. I just feel like when we hit every stage with her, it just feels complete. It feels like we're done with the newborn stage, like completely. I just don't see us going back and having another one, and I don't have any desire for that right now. So that's kind of where we're at. It's like 99.999% chance that we're just gonna have one. There is that like tiny fraction of a percent that leads me to think at least the possibility is still there. Not that I necessarily want to have more, but we're still young. We still got time if we want to change our minds later. I hope I'm saying your name right. Raya C had a lot of questions, so I'll just go down the list. Her first one was, how do you find time for yourself and also for you and your husband? So Olivia takes one pretty solid nap every day. It's usually about 2 to 2.5 hours, so I take some of that time and do some cleaning, some chores, and then I take some of that time for myself. And so I feel like I do get plenty of recharging time with that nap time. When she was a little bit younger and needed me a lot more, I would take a break when my husband would come home and he would have some baby time, and I would take like a 30-minute break or so and just get some recharging time, just basically sit on my butt. Usually that was what I would do, or I would do laundry and still sit on my butt and fold laundry. And as she's gotten older, she's been way more independent, so we'll be in the same room together a lot of the time, or I'll be in the kitchen and she'll be in her playroom, and she can play without me for quite a while. I can sit and read, I can get some chores done. There's a bird outside. That's what I was looking at. So I feel like I do get some little times during the day that I can just sit and read or do something that's not, focused 100% on her. And then as far as making time for my husband and she goes to bed, and after she goes to bed, that's our time together. And we specifically try to make Fridays, or sometimes it's Thursdays and sometimes it's Saturdays, but about one night a week where we just order takeout and watch TV together, or rent a movie, or just sit and talk and just have a nice meal together. So we do try to incorporate date nights, even if they're just date nights at home, We don't have a babysitter or anything like that. So her next question is, what is the most stressful situation you have ever had as a mom? So the most stressful situation for me was even early on, after the complete brand newborn sleep phase wears off, where they're up a little bit more and they don't just sleep all day. She would cry before she'd fall asleep, and it didn't matter what we did. No matter what we did, we tried so many different things. She would always cry before she would fall asleep, and it was always like 3 minutes of crying. Like literally we could time it, and it was about 3 minutes most of the time, like hardly ever longer than 5 minutes. But it was the most stressful 3 minutes every day. And I would cry a lot of the time. Johnny would get really upset a lot of the time, and there was just nothing we could do to get her to not cry for these times. It was really stressful. And thankfully she just grew out of this crying before every time she would sleep. Raya also asked, what is the best advice you have for new moms? And my best advice is go with your instincts. Like, you can read 20 parenting books, but at the end of the day, it's your child and you are the mom. You just really have to trust yourself and go with your instincts. Really just learn as you go. And it's really great to read the parenting books, but it's also really stressful too, because you can get stuck into, this book says this is supposed to work and it's not working for whatever situation it is, or get your baby more upset when you try the things that something recommends. And you really just have to take all of that info with a grain of salt and really just do your best. And Raya's last question is, how many hours does Olivia sleep through the night? It's varied, and it's always been somewhere between 11 and 14 hours. So it's a long sleeping through the night. And now she's getting more to the 11-hour side. But there's times like the day after she gets any kind of shots, she sleeps like a rock those nights. And this last time she got her 1-year shots, she slept like 13.5 hours that night. It's just one of the things with her, she sleeps extra that one day after shots. Life with Carrie asked, how much detail do you remember from your delivery? Do you remember the pain? I definitely remember it being really intense, and I feel like I remember pretty good details. I definitely feel like I remember a lot of it, but I don't remember every single little detail. Whitney asked a couple of questions too. She asked, how does Olivia do around new people? And she is really into waving right now, so she waves at everybody. Pretty much anybody that even walks close to us, even if they're not looking our direction, she's sitting there like waving to them. It's so cute. I'm really trying to explain to her, you know, that person can't see you right now, they're not looking at you. Because she's like expects everybody to wave back to her and will smile really big. She's just really into waving. For a while she was very apprehensive around new people. She wouldn't make any kind of babbling sound. She would smile at them every once in a while, but she would just kind of look at people blank faced, like, I'm checking you out, I'm not sure about you. And I think that was her stranger danger, because she used to just smile at everybody, and then she went through this phase where she wouldn't smile at anybody, but now she's back to like smiling at everybody and waving really big. And Whitney's next question is also, what are some of her favorite foods? Right now she still loves blueberries. She likes them frozen or the freeze-dried ones. She does not like fresh blueberries. Lately she's really liked sweet peas and black beans. She's also really liked raisins and apples, like obsessed with apples. As soon as she sees an apple, she wants it. That makes grocery shopping really hard because with her, you know, I slice it up for her. Oh, she really likes cuties, the little clementines or whatever they are. As far as like toddler snack food, she likes the Ella's Kitchen stuff. So she likes their cheddar wheels. They've got like cinnamon puff things, and she really likes their granola bars. They're called Nibbly Fingers. I think those are pretty much her favorite like kid toddlery food. And she also likes Cheerios. So yay, Lauren asked a few questions. What are your favorite, least favorite things about being a stay-at-home mom? My favorite thing is that I get all the memories, and I'm here with her day in and day out. I've seen the new things that she does. I can capture it on video some of the time. I can take pictures of it, and I could record, you know, all the special things that she does. I just love having those moments with her. I love being there for her, and I love just spending our days together. Least favorite thing about being a stay-at-home mom is I don't get that break. I don't get that like adult child-free time during the day. I do have play dates with other moms, and our kids now are getting to the age where we can sit and chit-chat a lot, so that's been really nice to have more adult conversations. But being a stay-at-home mom is just really all-consuming. I get stuck in that mom funk, and even at a lot of play dates, like all we discuss is stay-at-home mom stuff. Milestones, nap time, diaper brands, like mom stuff. And Lauren also asked a question that already came up. Do you think you'll go back to work and or get back to your own business, or would you like to continue being a stay-at-home mom? I do want to continue being a stay-at-home mom. I will just ramp up my YouTube stuff as time allows. But I don't consider that work. I don't consider this work. I call it work because it's mostly for fun. Lauren's last question is, what was something that at the time felt like it would never end, but looking back on it, you realize that it was so short? Pretty much anything that was not pleasant. The newborn crying right before she slept every time, the fighting over naps, like she would seem tired but not want to go to sleep. The waking up during the night was really short-lived. I feel like you know, for those 6 months, it felt like it was the worst thing ever, but it just flew by so quick, and I feel like that's motherhood in general. In the moment, like day-to-day life seems like the days are pretty long, and sometimes I can't wait for her to go to bed at the end of the day, but at the same time, they just fly by at the same time. We'll be, you know, at the end of a week, we'll be at the end of the month, we'll be at the end of the first year like we just were, and it seems like it just happened so fast. I feel like everything, especially the unpleasant stuff, is just a phase, and it goes by really quick, even though it doesn't feel like it at the time. Creative Cards asked, before you had Olivia, you probably had thought of what you thought parenthood would be like, but when Olivia arrived, was parenthood different, or was it what you thought it was going to be? That's a really interesting question, because I did take care of kids a lot before I had her. I always was babysitting. When I was in college, I worked at a daycare, and I also was a nanny for a little girl for years. And so I really had a good handle on maybe like crawling babies up. I really wasn't around a lot of newborn babies, and the newborn babies I was around, they were 6 weeks and older. As far as like understanding children and child development, one of my majors was psychology. So I did have to take child psychology classes, so I do feel like I have a good grasp on that type of stuff, but nothing's going to prepare you for parenthood. Nothing's going to prepare you for those sleepless nights and still having to take care of a baby 24/7. It's just something that you have to live through. You have to take care of a kid 24/7 to realize what it's going to be like. So I really thought I knew what to expect because I'd been around so many kids, but it is definitely so different. So that is it for this video. I hope I got to all the questions. I tried my best to get to all of them. Thank you guys so much for your questions. I really enjoyed being able to answer them for you guys. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.